Hello.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Good. I'm glad to hear it. I'm doing all right. I'm tired, but I'm okay. Thank you for asking. I'm gonna move us over to the game we're playing, which is gonna be Snail Simulator.
Great.
Now, which one are you at the moment?
I'm just launching actually.
Oh, I see. Where
Yeah.
I don't see any flying snails.
I normally leave the game running
Oh.
24/7, but
Mm-hmm.
I was out of town until last night and I hadn't booted it up again.
I see. Okay. Have you gotten the 10,000 hour achievement?
No, I'm almost at 2,000 hours, which
Man,
I
that's a journey.
yeah, I think it's one of the higher hours played of
Mm-hmm.
anyone, but I know there's at least one or two people who have more hours than that.
I see. Okay. Well, in that case,
I am
um,
in
hmm?
town and I'm double pirate hat.
I think I just saw you land. Oh, there you are. Hi. I'm the blue one with the
Hello.
bucket. With the bucket. Hello. All
Hello.
right. Where do we want to be for the start of this?
Um,
Is the town good enough for you?
let's see. How long do you think we'll go?
This usually takes about 2 hours.
Okay.
If you need to stop we can reconvene easily. Like, if you need to stop at any point, we can stop, and then we can set up a time and date to uh catch up where we left off.
Okay. Let's see. Let me just message my wife so that she knows I'll be kind
Okay.
of unavailable.
Yep. I realized afterwards that I did not give you a lot of information, and I'm sorry about that.
Well, good. Okay. Well, 2 hours would actually be perfect if we just want to walk all the way up to the top of the mountain. Um,
Okay.
if you want to do other things too, then we could do something else. What are your thoughts
Uh,
there?
um, I cause the game is kind of set dressing our background for us talking. I kind of want to have something to look at.
Sure.
So let's go. What's your favorite spot?
um, I don't all of them. So if you're wanting things to look at, what we could do like a lot of the smaller things.
Yeah.
So like we could go to the Tesla Tower, we could go to Snell, um, we could go to the monolith.
Let's just pick a direction.
Sure. There's most stuff is just straight ahead along the trail.
Yeah, we could do that. And then
Okay.
the other stuff will be extra. Gotta get that auto walk in. There we go.
In sync.
There we go. Look at us go.
And you know you can hit tab to change your camera focal point, right?
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's relatively new.
Okay.
So there's like 6 or 7 different focal points. The first 3, including the default, are just like
Oh, I
directly
see.
above the middle.
Tab. Okay. Neat. All right.
So
Fun.
you can get kind of more cinematic shots with one of
Mm-hmm.
those other ones.
Perfect. Time to leave town and explore the world. Indeed.
Hell yeah.
Shell yeah. Well, in that case, let's get started with what we're here for.
Alrighty.
Asking you questions.
Great.
So first of all, why did you accept the invitation to do this with me? Basically, is what I'm asking. Is like, why did you say yes?
Um, I hadn't really thought of it. I I generally like to say yes to people who reach out to me. So
Mm-hmm.
I'll give you a few examples. I actually spoke. A professor at a university reached out
Mm-hmm.
to me a couple months ago and said, "Hey, would my kids like my students rather like your
Mm-hmm.
game? Would you be willing to talk to them over a Zoom call?" And I was like, "Sure."
That's awesome.
So I did that. I think that was last Friday
Oh
or the Friday
wow.
before. Yeah, it's pretty recent that I
Nice.
did that,
Cool.
and it was only like half hour, but like it was a cool experience.
Huh.
Um, Another thing that I've said yes to is there's a little Easter egg not far to the left of us, actually, on the tree over there. Are you familiar with it?
Oh yeah. I went and saw it when I first
Uh,
played. We can go take a detour if you want.
yeah, let's go check it
Yeah.
out.
Let's go take a detour. I will hold back.
It is much appreciated.
There we go. Two snails walking together.
Nailing around,
Nailing around at the
having a
speed of
snell of a
sound.
time.
Ah,
um, what else? Um, there's also been a bunch of things that I haven't yet implemented. Oh wait, no, I have another really big one. The Tesla Tower is from
mm-hmm,
my friend. He messaged me just a few
mm-hmm,
days before the big update for 1.3, and he said, "Hey, SnailSimDev, if I were to send you a bunch of code and like 3D models, and I basically pre-built this mini game, would you put it in your game before your big launch?"
mm.
And I was like, "Sure."
Nice.
And it did
Well,
take a little bit of work on. Oh, go ahead.
he did supply a lot of the assets for it, so I mean that's helpful.
It helped a lot. Yeah, I did have to tweak a few things, but like it only took me an hour or two to take what he had written and put it into the game,
Nice.
and it's been fun. It's been a good addition to the game, I think.
Yeah, it's been fun. I do
So
like
yeah,
it.
generally when people say, "Hey, can you do this?" or "Hey, can I do this?" I'm like, "Sure." I
Mm-hmm.
don't know. I think it's fun.
Yeah, it's unexpected.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Um, I've been trying to say yes to more things in my own life, but gosh, I'm a scared person.
Oh, I
I
hear
get
you there.
scared easily.
I can be that way as well for sure.
Yeah.
And like, you
So,
know what? Sometimes the right answer is to say no. Like
mm-hmm.
I almost brought that up earlier. Like I'm not trying to say I think saying yes is always the right answer. There's been plenty of times people have said, "Hey, you should put this in your game," and I just am like, "No,
No.
that wouldn't be a good fit for the game.
Yeah.
Here's why."
Yeah.
Um, so I don't know. I guess I like to say yes to things that are good, and this
Yeah.
feels like a good thing.
Wonderful. Well, thank you for sharing. Would you like the next question?
Sure.
The next question is, what do you do?
Um, well, to give the traditional answer, I am a full-time software engineer
Nice.
at a tech company
Cool.
here in Utah.
Nice.
And but in general, what outside of work, because work is not my entire life,
Thank goodness.
and I like to spend time with my wife. We like to travel. Um,
Mm-hmm.
we've got 3 cats, and they're all goofballs, and we love them.
Cute.
And I like to stay active in a few different ways.
Mm-hmm.
Lately, I've just been going on walks, just like brisk walks to stay active. But in the past,
Nice.
I used to do a lot of running
Mm.
um, or biking. So,
Mm.
what
Yeah.
else do I like? I also just like food. Like new restaurants are one of my favorite things to do. Is just check out a new place. So,
That's awesome. I love that. That's
yeah,
also something I like doing. Is I like finding new foods to eat.
exactly.
I don't know why,
Unfortunately,
but I love
too,
it.
those things, travel and food, have gotten more expensive over the last few years. So
Unfortunately.
we kind
Yeah.
of do less of them than we used to. But
Mm.
there's still ways to travel inexpensively if you do some work. And so
Yeah.
we do try to get out there and travel when we can.
Cool. That's awesome. I love that. I love that for you. I'm
Thank
glad you
you.
get to travel. What has been one of the spots that you've enjoyed the most in your travels?
So it's been a long time now, but almost a decade ago, I got laid off from a job,
Mm-hmm.
and I had a little bit of money saved up,
Mm-hmm.
and I decided I was going to make the most of getting laid off, and I bought a one-way ticket out to Asia and
Ooh.
backpacked around for a few months.
Whoa. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's one way of making the most out of it.
Yeah.
My goodness.
And
That's
again, on the
incredible.
subject of traveling cheaply, I traveled as cheaply as possible. Like I was staying in $10 a night hostels and Airbnbs and just whatever I could do to
Mm-hmm.
stretch out the little bit of savings I had as long as I could.
Wow.
And once you're out there, flying between different countries is actually, at least a decade ago, it
Mm-hmm.
was quite cheap.
Mm-hmm.
Um, like a flight from Korea to Japan might only be like $80.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so really not too bad. And yeah, it's out there for a few months, and I went to Taiwan, Korea, Japan. Yeah,
Incredible.
it was kind of a life changing experience. It opened my little American eyes up to the way that other people live, and
Yeah, for
I think
sure.
about it all the time.
Yeah. I definitely agree that that would be a life-changing experience. I'm glad you got to have it.
Thank you. Me too.
Yeah. Next question, if you're
Yeah,
ready. Why do
yeah.
you do what you do?
Um, sorry. Could you hear my cats fighting? Okay, I think they're done.
Okay.
Okay, why do I do what I do?
Yeah.
Um, sorry about the.
I love the jump.
As far as work, I actually went to college at one point, but then dropped back out and went
Mm-hmm.
back to software engineering. And it's kind of a combination of like there's that saying, do like find something that you enjoy, you're good at, and makes money.
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of a combination of all those three. Depending on the day, it's not always those three.
Mm-hmm.
But software engineering is a decent paying career,
Mm-hmm.
and generally speaking, I think I'm pretty decent at it. And I don't always love it, like,
Mm-hmm.
but one thing I do like about it is there's always new stuff to learn because
Yeah.
everything changes so fast.
Especially now. Things are just
Yeah,
shifting rapidly.
yeah, just like every year things change faster, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that
Yeah.
just means there's more to learn, which keeps things fresh, which for me keeps things more enjoyable.
Nice.
Um, so, and then the other parts to that question I'd answer is let's talk about games, I guess.
Okay.
Why do I make games?
Sure.
I think it's kind of I've never like written it down necessarily as like a dream I've had since I was a kid. But ever since I was pretty young, even back in my day when like not everyone played games, unlike today, it's just kind of
Mm-hmm.
everyone plays them. It was still a much more nerdy and niche thing. Like if I found people who played games, we were automatically friends. Um,
Nice.
so like ever since I was young, I've enjoyed playing them, and so I think it kind of goes hand in hand that kids dream about making games as well.
Yeah,
Um,
definitely now more than before.
yeah, it's it's so much easier to like
Mm-hmm.
get into it than it was um, back in the day.
Definitely.
So I think partially just because it's kind of something that's always been in the back of my mind.
Mm-hmm.
I The first time I started using Unity was about 5 years ago,
Mm-hmm.
and I for the last 4 years I was working on a different project. It's a sci-fi tower defense game,
Mm.
and
Right.
yeah, it's called Blinding Light.
Right. I remember you talking about that. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's a great project. I almost a little. It is little, but it's also big for a team of three part-time
Yeah.
developers, and which is why that I've put a hiatus on working on Blinding Light. I want to focus on smaller projects like SnailSim.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Fair.
and I'll also add to that another thing. Now that SnailSim is going, it's been less of like fulfilling a childhood dream, and it's become more of, hey, I've got like this cool community, and their passion for the game keeps me driven.
Yeah.
Um, I have a friend who's kind of a mentor in the game
Mm-hmm.
dev space for me, and he describes it as fuel. Um,
Mm-hmm.
People playing your game is your fuel for working on your game. It's what keeps you interested in it and wanting to improve it. And for me,
Yeah.
that's so true. Like every day, I'll have like a bunch of ideas on the Discord from different people, and I'm like, oh yeah, I'd really like to do that. Um, of course, I can't do all of them, and I have to pick and choose what's actually going to happen. But
mm-hmm. Yeah.
it's definitely the fuel that drives me.
Yeah. I feel that in some of my own personal projects, I've recently discovered that I also feel that way. Particularly with these interviews, I've noticed that if I just get one comment, I'm like, okay, let's do another one.
Uh huh.
And it doesn't matter what the comment says, just the fact that someone engaged with it is like, okay, I can
Sounds
do
good, right?
this.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not alone. I'm not screaming into the void. Someone
Yeah,
heard me, and being heard is incredibly important.
I think so.
Yeah,
At the very least, it feels nice, and it is a driver for action, I think.
definitely. Yeah. So we're approaching a thing.
Oh, it's so dark. I
It
don't know
is a
if we'll
little
be able to
dark.
read it until
It's
day.
okay. We can hang out until we can
Eh,
read it.
like the sun's coming up anyway.
All right, gooching our way on over.
That's one problem that I've had to work with the new lighting system is in the past there wasn't truly darkness. There was
Mm,
just darker colored light. But
mm-hmm.
now at night there's not necessarily a source of light, and so things like the sign are
Yeah,
not always legible.
visible. Oh.
And I'm actually worried that the sign might be bugged because
Oh no.
it's looking pretty blank to me even.
Yeah, it's looking a little dark.
Yeah, and that's a bug that I've seen in the past. I wonder if it happened again.
Okay. Well,
We'll
we'll
give it a
see.
sec.
So next question then, as we wait,
Yeah.
is do you make things?
Um, I try to.
Yeah.
I I think I can confidently say I've made Snail Simulator.
I think so too. I think we can notch that under the belt of making things.
Yeah. One of the few things in life I think I can look at and say, yeah, I made that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Maybe that's not true. There's been a lot of like little features on in software across the years that I've made, but
Yeah.
it's almost always been more piecemeal, where I've written functions and classes here and there, but not the whole project necessarily.
Mm-hmm.
This is something I can point at and be like, yeah, I made that.
Yeah, that's nice.
Is so yes, I think I do make things.
Okay. Do you make things besides video games, or is like games the majority of the things that you're able to be creative in?
As far as strictly making things, I definitely make things for employers and contractors or contractees.
Mm-hmm.
But for your second part of the question about creativity, um, certainly the last few months, games have been my focus, and probably the last few years.
Mm-hmm.
In the past, I've also tinkered a lot with like electronics. I've got a couple soldering irons. Um, what else have I made? Not much of an artist. None of the 3D models in SnailSim were made by me. They were either purchased or in the case of the Tesla Tower, just donated.
Given. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's all that's coming to mind right now.
Okay. That's fair. I mean, I appreciate the mundane,
Yeah,
because that takes time and effort too.
it does. Yeah.
So thank you for doing that.
Yeah. I write a lot of code, so I've written so much code over the years, and that's probably the biggest thing I've made over the years.
Mm-hmm. Okay, that makes sense.
By the way, I'm pretty confident this sign is not going to show.
Oh, that's a bummer.
I know
That's
one of the
okay.
names on it is Sarah.
Hmm.
I can't remember the other name. It might be John. It might be something else.
Maybe.
Oh wait, I can barely read it. It's okay. It's loading. Just the lighting is really
Really tough.
unforgiving. Okay, Sarah Hart's Brandon.
Aw, cute.
Is this a good point to talk about
Sure.
the Easter egg?
Go for it.
So this is one of those things that I said yes to.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now it's very visible. Nice. Where someone messaged me on Discord. It was actually pretty early in the life of the game. I think it had probably been out for less than a month.
Hmm. Yeah, that is
And
pretty early.
she messaged me and said, "Hey, uh, me and my significant other like your game. Would you mind if I sent you a 3D model of a sign? Would you put it in your game?" And I said, "Sure. That sounds really cool and cute."
Mm-hmm.
Um, and that's about it. I actually talked to him, or no, I guess there's a little bit more. So she didn't tell him,
Mm-hmm.
but then in game, she led him over here. They snailed over here together,
Mm-hmm.
and then was like, "Hey, look, it's us. We're in the game."
Wonderful.
Yeah, so I thought that was really
Cute.
fun and cute.
Yeah.
And then a few weeks later, I actually talked to him on voice chat, and it was really pleasant.
Aw,
It was nice.
wonderful. I love that. Thank you for sharing.
Yeah.
I'm noticing a sign over on that rock over there. I don't think I've ever touched it. Is that just a part of the Stairway to Sneven? Or is that a special
Um.
hidden sign behind us?
Oh, okay. So like the one I'm moving toward right now.
Yeah, that we're crawling backwards towards.
Um. That is not part of the Stairway to Sneven.
Okay.
It. I almost don't want to suppress or ruin the surprise for you. Do you want to go over there?
Yeah, let's go snail over there together.
Yay.
Yeah, new discoveries. Okay. Would you like the next question?
Yeah. Bring them on.
All right, next question is why do you really make things?
When do I really make things? Is the implication that I lied
Oh,
earlier?
I messed up. The first question is why do you make things? And then the next one is why do you really make them? So let's start with the why you make things, because you
Oh
did.
no! But now I know the follow up.
That's okay. Just don't think about it.
Okay. I think I kind of I'm gonna fall back on the answer I gave earlier to a similar question, which is now in at least in like the near past, my main driver for making things, or in this case, Snail Simulator, is people playing my game.
Yeah. You like having that community and
Yeah,
feeling like you have made an impact in some fashion.
exactly.
Yeah, I feel that. Now,
Now
do
I'm
you want
ready
to
for the
answer the
follow up
next one?
question.
Okay. Why do you really make things?
So I think like if I take my answer and kind of look at it a little deeper,
Mm-hmm.
it's okay. So people playing games is the fuel, but why is that?
Mm-hmm.
Um, I think there's a few reasons. Like
Okay.
most things in life, I don't think it's one thing, but
Yeah.
I think it feels good to make something and have it be seen and engaged with, kind of like you were talking about earlier,
Mm-hmm.
the YouTube comments.
Yeah.
So like having your work, having something you built be acknowledged and enjoyed by others, I think is really fulfilling.
Mm-hmm.
I I also think it's pretty just deeply ingrained in me to want to make things.
Yeah.
I my my dad has been self-employed for my whole life, and so he's really driven.
Wow.
And I think I've picked up on a lot of that, where
Mm-hmm.
I I enjoy working on things, and I enjoy making things that feel good when they're done.
Yeah. Definitely. I
I
can
think I
definitely
had more
see.
thoughts, but that's all I've got for you right now.
That's all right. That's good enough. You take inspiration from your grandfather or father?
My father, yeah.
Father. Yeah, you take inspiration from your father. It's that's motivation in of itself.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he's a really creative man and a hard worker, and so
Nice.
I think I picked up on a lot of that too.
I'm glad you have him. That was wonderful.
Thank you.
All right. Next question is who is someone you like? So like in the way of like you just like them. It doesn't have to be romantic or anything like that. Just someone you find cool. Someone you look at and like, I like them.
Well, Silver Storm is pretty cool.
Almost everyone says that. Oh my
Oh
gosh.
no! As soon as I said, I was like, "That's probably an old joke, right?" Okay,
It's a reoccurring joke. It's not old. It's just
but
reoccurring.
it's also not a joke for the record. Like, I don't think I would have done this if I didn't like you. So,
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that.
I like my wife.
Mhm.
We and I know this is kind of controversial, but we refer to each other as best friends.
Aw, I love
Um,
that.
like like not always,
Yeah.
but I think she's truly my best friend. She's the one I want to share things with when they
No,
happen.
I
Um,
love that.
yeah, me too. I think it's been healthy for our relationship.
Yeah.
Not to
When
say I don't
you,
have other friends and
yeah,
other best friends even, but like she's my my bestest best friend.
she's in the top 3.
Yeah, exactly. She's up there, you know.
Yeah. High on the list of like you find something and you're like, oh cool, I gotta go show it to my wife. Just because I find it neat.
Yeah, exactly. And like she likes to
Yeah.
hear about my day, which feels nice and makes
Yeah.
me want to tell her about my day.
Oh.
Um,
Yeah. That's
who else do I
lovely.
like? I, I don't feel like I've often had a lot of like what's the word from? Heroes. That's kind of the word. Like
Role
public figures.
models?
Yeah, like public figures that people kind of idolize.
Yeah.
That's not been too much of a thing for me in my life
Mm-hmm.
because I think people are complicated
Mm-hmm.
and very rarely are you seeing all of them in the
Yeah.
public eye. But
Agreed.
the type of people that I like that are in the public eye are those who are sincere and giving.
Mm-hmm.
Um, that's probably all I have there.
Okay, good enough. Like, kind of leads into the next question, which is, what do you like about them? So
Okay.
you like people who are sincere and giving.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to add to that?
Yeah. There's, I think there's just there's like a lot of greed in the world, and I
Mm.
really don't like that.
Yeah,
I actually think it's pretty deeply entrenched in American culture
it definitely is.
is yeah, is like greed and like spending money on kind of ridiculous things.
Yeah.
And I really don't like those things about our culture.
Mm-hmm.
So when people are not that way, I appreciate them.
Yeah. I think I feel somewhat similarly. Um, it's as you mentioned, a multifaceted problem, like multifaceted people.
Yeah.
But that is definitely something that American culture stands up on, is the need to make money at all costs. And it's
Hmm.
like, that's not very healthy for the soul, now is it?
Nope. And like
Mm,
there's so many people that are desperately in need of help.
yeah,
And so when people spend tons of money on ridiculous luxuries, that's money that could be spent on people who are literally dying. And
yeah.
so I yeah, I don't I don't love those things.
Those quirks.
Yes.
Yeah. No, I understand. I think anyway.
I think so. I think you do.
Okay, cool. All right, next question. If you're ready,
I'm so ready.
what do you like about yourself?
Ooh, depends on the day.
Yeah, I feel
um,
that.
Today I'm feeling like pretty on top of things and driven, and like I've vacuumed and did
Hmm.
some painting around the house, and
Ooh,
yeah,
life maintenance. Look at you go.
yeah, like got back from the trip. I'm like, oh, there's a few things that could be done around the house. So today I
Nice.
like that about me, that I'm
Yeah.
feeling productive.
Yeah.
Um, I I'd like to think that I generally keep a pretty level head.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I don't tend to, I don't like extremes typically,
Mm-hmm.
and um, I think I'm pretty good at um, seeing the perspective of others,
Mm.
and even if their opinions might differ from my own.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I guess on a good day I can be empathetic. Let's put it that way.
On a good day.
Yeah.
Okay.
If I'm hungry and tired, well, I'm a whole different person. So,
That
and
makes
then I
sense.
just have to try and get through the day
Yeah.
and do my best to not
Take
damage
it
anyone
out.
along the way.
Yeah, take it out on
uh,
others.
yeah,
That's a struggle for sure. Yeah, I feel that.
yeah,
All right. So you like that you're feeling motivated and driven today. You
yeah.
like that about yourself. Okay, cool. Um, the next question is, what about yourself inspires you?
Oh my gosh. Oh, I don't know that I often gain a lot of inspiration from myself, but let me try and think of something.
Okay.
um, I think I'm not afraid to be a little different. I've
Mm-hmm.
always been a little different,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, I guess I can look back on my past experiences and be like, hey, I've been weird. I can continue to be weird, and it's gonna be okay.
Yeah.
So I think that is a form of inspiration.
Yeah.
Um,
I
Also,
think I
going
see
back
that.
to my work ethic, I'm not always like go go go.
Mm-hmm.
Um, that's just kind of not me. But I can look back on myself and be and recognize that a lot of the time I do have a really strong work ethic, and I can work hard,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, I
Yeah.
think that is a form of self inspiration.
Yeah.
Interesting. I never thought of that.
I see it. Yeah. I see some parallels with your dad, as you mentioned, that it seems you also got that from your father, because you also said that your dad was hard worker and
Exactly.
probably got it from there as well.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Okay, cool. Do you want the next question?
I sure do.
All right. How do you react in uncomfortable situations?
Um, well, there you go. I guess I laugh.
You giggle.
Um, yeah, I think there's a lot of truth to that.
Yeah.
I the things that come to mind are like when I this is more so when I was younger, but when I was really young, I would get like really quiet, and that was
Mm-hmm.
kind of my defense mechanism for what was the word you used? Was it awkward or
Uncomfortable
uncomfortable?
situations.
Okay, that's right. For
Yeah.
uncomfortable situations, I think I would mostly just get kind of quiet and climb up.
Yeah.
I think as I got older, I learned to laugh at everything.
Mm.
Like
It's definitely a
what
skill.
like the other day I spilled something all over my table,
Oh
and
no.
I just kind of like laughed. I was like the way it happened was so ridiculous. Like it was like, all right, that's funny. I guess I'll clean it up. Like um
Yeah.
and but I'm not always cheerful. This one time we were waiting a long line at an airport because our flight had been canceled, and
Mm.
this guy was like clearly cutting in line, and I got
Mm.
after him.
Oh.
I said, hey dude, like we're here, like your time's not more important than us. And so um yeah, I in the right circumstances, I'm not just like quiet or laughing it off. I can be
Mm-hmm.
vindictive or even a little aggressive, so it kind of just depends on the day.
Yeah. Okay. That checks out. That makes sense. All right. Cool. Thank you for sharing. The next question is, when was the last time you were validated?
um this is probably another one of those things where everyone says it during this call
Yeah.
when you said nice things about me.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. That'll happen.
um
So like 5 minutes ago.
yeah. Like now.
Wonderful.
The fact
Like,
that you wanted to interview me. uh
yeah.
so I mean realistic, yeah, like literally yes, that, but probably a better answer is I think just this whole game in general, because I made it as mostly a joke to begin with.
Mm-hmm. As a make something beautiful, then abandon it kind of a thing.
I don't even know if I'd use the word beautiful. Make
Snails are
something.
beautiful. You can't lie.
Well, I'm not disagreeing, but like the game itself, when upon release was I would not use the word beautiful to describe it. But because when I first released it, I only put 15 or 20 hours into it. It was a very simple project, and by design, the reason I started on SnailSim is I wanted to make a game and get it out there because I had been waiting so long for that other project, Blinding Light, and I was kind of getting frustrated with that.
Wanted to do something.
Yeah, so I wanted to do something quick and easy, and so everything from the ground up was designed to be those things. And so yes, I would not use the word beautiful for the initial release. Maybe now I think there's some beauty in the game.
Yeah,
but
I would argue.
Yeah, so to see like my little joke of a game get some popularity and people actually enjoying it, and now I put in hundreds of hours into it.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, that's definitely been validating. Like, hey, I can make something that people enjoy. That
Yeah,
very validating.
yeah, I love that. Thank you for sharing.
Thanks for asking.
No problem. There we go. The next question is, who are you?
SnailSimDev.
SnailSimDev. Hello.
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 Oh, hello.
But who are you to yourself?
Oh, I'm just a guy in his mid-30s trying to conquer my moodiness of each day and try and be the best person I can be.
I feel that.
I'm nerdy. Not very shy about it. That's about all I got for you on that one.
All right, good enough. I like it. It's a good description.
Yeah.
Speaking of, the next one is, outside of race, gender, and career, how would you describe yourself?
Outside of race, gender, and career, mid-30s.
That is an option.
Again, nerdy. I think I'm generally a kind person. Again, like I always freely admit that I'm a moody person. Let's be real. I think most people are.
They usually are, yeah.
I think not everyone accepts it, but I also think I'm probably a little more moody than most, or maybe I'm just more aware of it. Who knows? So moody.
Maybe.
Let's put moody down there.
Okay.
But when I think I'm generally a nice person, I try to be. I'm quirky and weird. I have kind of a strange sense of humor. I'm pointing at Snail Simulator right now.
It's a wonderful sense of humor.
Thank you. Yeah, that's been one of the funnest things, is just seeing like, oh my gosh, there's like hundreds of other people who have this really weird sense of humor, and
and who get it, who get the joy out of something like this.
Get it? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Are entering the tall grass.
Let's go.
Here we go. Foraging along. Yeah. Gonna go climb this big rock. All right. Do you want to add more to that?
Nah, that's all I got.
All right. Good enough. All right. Next question is, what is something that scares you?
Death.
Death?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a scary one.
Yeah, mortality. I think about my mortality probably every day. I don't like constantly dwell on it, but it's
It crosses your mind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, oh, only got a few more decades to go. Eh, yeah.
Yeah.
Um, and on that same note, the mortality of those around me.
Mm.
That's yeah, but that's really heavy. What else scares me? That's a little lighter. Um, Getting doxxed is something that scares me.
Yep. That is a fear. It
Yep.
wasn't like 20 years ago. It is now.
Uh-huh.
That's a new
It
one.
probably wouldn't be that big of a deal. And like a lot of developers are pretty public about their
Mhm.
names and everything, right?
Yeah.
But I
It just
just
takes that one person to change your mind.
oh, exactly. And like it feels relatively easy to err on the side of just not putting
Yeah.
the information out there, at least as little as I can.
Yeah.
Um, what else?
Definitely.
Um, I think about my cats dying, and that makes me sad.
No.
I know one of them's getting older. He's 10, but like for cats, that's kind of getting older, middle age.
Yeah.
Um, just I guess losing relationships in general is probably my biggest
Mm.
fear, whatever form that might come in.
I'm hearing a lot of not looking forward to the pain of life.
Yeah, and like I've been through it. I've, like ever since I was pretty young, I've been around death.
Oh,
Um,
can we not climb
so
this?
should be. Oh,
I think we're stuck.
I thought we're climbing it. Oh, I backed up and then like went forward, and it just kind of
Oh,
worked.
okay. We'll see if I can get there or not. I mean, I could cheat and just fly my way up.
Good. Up to you.
Oh,
What?
that didn't work. I'm gonna fly.
Okay, I'll join you. It's not cheating.
It's just being a snail. Oh no, I'm
Yeah,
going the wrong way.
very realistic.
Alright, hopefully this will work out better. Oh yeah, this is better. I like the adjustment to the flight. It makes it much easier to control your path.
I'm not sure which adjustment you're referring to.
Before 1.3, it was really a crapshoot on where you would land, and now it's much easier to kind of control where you're gonna
Yeah,
be.
I did adjust like the collider for the snail. And
Mm-hmm.
okay, I see you. I'll come to you.
All right.
What else scares me? Climate change. I think about climate change a lot.
Uh, yeah.
Um,
It's something that hangs over.
yep.
It looms.
Yep. When I'm not feeling great, that's kind of where my mind goes, is this sense of impending doom
That's not
regarding
fun.
climate change and how little humanity is doing to take care of the earth.
Yeah.
Um, wow, those are kind of heavy, but those are,
Yeah.
I mean, if I'm being honest, those are the things that scare me most.
And it makes sense. It makes sense that you'd be scared of those things. Thank you for being honest. I
Yeah,
appreciate it. Um, I have words I'm trying to say. I have to think about how I want to say them.
sure. Take your time.
I'll just, I get it. It might be heavy, but at the same time, those are genuine fears and they do matter. So,
Appreciate it.
yeah.
It's always nice to know that I'm not alone with any type of fear. So
Yeah. It definitely helps. I'm sure there's studies you could find that prove that, but it definitely seems to be like a human thing that if you're
Mm-hmm.
scared of something, having others that understand helps with the copage of the thing.
Yeah, no, that's been very true in my experience as well.
Mm-hmm.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, no problem. All right, we'll meet up and then we'll look at the sign. Okay. Huh?
Oh, I just giggle into myself. Not
Oh,
because
there
I'm
we go.
uncomfortable, but because I'm excited.
Oh, good. Wonderful.
Just to be clear.
Okay. The next question is, what is the hardest thing you've ever had to overcome?
Oh my gosh. Um, how serious can we get on this
It's
interview?
how honest you want to be.
Okay.
You don't
Well,
have to share things that are truly traumatic that you don't want to share.
no, I
Just
mean,
share something that's that's been difficult.
like, I, with any question, not just like in this interview, I always try to. I don't know if it's just like my analytical mind, but I always want to answer things as correctly or as honestly as possible. So
Mm-hmm.
like, I'm not. I'm okay with that. Um, I I've had a few friends commit suicide over the
Mm,
years,
that's tough.
and that is a particularly difficult type of death
Yeah,
to
it
deal
really
with.
is.
Um, yeah. So they they were all at least several years ago, so nothing recent, thankfully.
Mm-hmm.
But it's yeah, it's the worst thing that's ever happened to me. Just and
Yeah,
I was also gonna say like I actually am pro talking about these types of things because I think it's good for people
to know.
to express. Yeah, again,
Yeah,
like um for for me, it's helpful to know that other people have dealt with losing loved ones to suicide, and
mm-hmm.
therefore I am an advocate for talking about it when it is appropriate.
Yeah,
Um, but yeah, it's the type of thing that kind of just sticks with you forever, and you can't help but wonder when people are depressed, is this going to happen again? Type of
yeah,
thing. Um, so it's rough, but
it is. It
um,
it stays.
yeah,
It's got a lot of staying power. Um,
yeah, and like
I sorry, go ahead.
oh, just one last thought is yeah, some people are affected more by guilt than I was, but guilt is definitely a big thing too. Like,
Mm-hmm.
what could I have done more to help that person? And
Yeah,
that's a very difficult thing to reconcile with.
it really is. Guilt is a tough one,
You know?
especially when you feel like you should have had agency to change the outcome. And a lot of the time, that's not the case. It's just, yeah, it's not.
Exactly.
I myself I've only had to deal with that once, but
Mm,
hopefully I only
I'm
have to deal
sorry.
with it once. It's
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. I'm sorry. That's hard. And
Yeah.
that's one of the worst things is like you go to the funeral of someone
Mm.
who took their own life. And what can you say? Like
Yeah.
I know that talking to people in like direct family of those who have lost someone to suicide, they say never say they're in a better place or anything along those lines because like
That justifies what happened.
yeah, and like the family's thinking no, this is the place they're supposed to be in.
Mm.
Like literally the only thing I can think of you can say is I'm sorry and try to do your best to be
Yeah.
there for them. Like there's very little to do, which I think is part of why it's so difficult.
Yeah. For me personally, I find that guilt is a way to try to fill those gaps when it feels like there's so little you can do. fill it in with guilt and shame.
Exactly.
And it's tough because those are really hard emotions.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, I'm sorry you had to deal with that.
Thanks.
I'm glad you're still here. Thank you for
Appreciate it.
existing.
Oh, you too. Yeah,
Thank you.
it's like I I would never say I'm glad I went through that per se, because it's a terrible thing that happened, and like I miss those people. But I will say that I think I'm stronger because of it.
Hmm.
Um,
You can
and
say you're proud of yourself for being able to deal with it.
yeah, and like I'm glad that I'm able to empathize better with other people who go through it.
Hmm.
Um, not glad that it happened, but at least I'm a little stronger. So,
You learned some skills, and you're
yep,
happy for them.
exactly.
All right, let's talk about this sign. Tell me about
Yeah.
this sign.
Well, they're all used up, unfortunately.
Unfortunate.
I so many things in the game I just kind of do on a whim. I'm like, oh, that might be fun, and so I just like do it. And
Hmm.
then this is one of those. I was like, what if there's a game where there's Steam keys inside of the game? Like, I don't think I've ever seen that before.
Yeah.
And so I was like, I'm just gonna freaking put up a sign that has some Steam keys, and then
Yeah.
please only take one, like Halloween candy.
Yeah.
Um,
Like Halloween candy. I love it.
yeah,
I love that
and
you put lanterns on all your signs.
yeah. That's another one of those lighting problems I
Mm.
didn't have to deal with in the past, but with 1.3 with the lighting update, I had to. It was like these
Mm.
signs were completely illegible and without a
Otherwise,
source of light.
uh,
It's not perfect,
mm-mm.
but it works, and I think it kind of adds character.
I think so
Um,
too. It's very cute.
like the lantern doesn't quite like match the aesthetic, but I don't really care. I think it looks kind of cute.
Yep.
Um, but yeah, it took a few days before anyone found any of the keys. And I know that
Hmm.
because the first person to get a key messaged me and said, "Hey, can I send this to?" I think it was a friend or a
Hmm.
boy or girlfriend or I don't know.
Yeah.
They're like, "Yeah, of course." And but then just a few days later, they were all used up. So
Mm. Okay.
I am planning on removing the sign and putting another one up somewhere else at some point, and just maybe continuously do that.
All right.
Um, kind of
Sounds good.
in general, I want to keep the game kind of fresh and do little things like that here and there. To
Yeah. It's as you mentioned in one of your signs, it's your snail sim.
yeah, it's your simulator.
It's ever growing with the community, and I love that.
Exactly. Me too.
All right. Well, let's pick another destination to head to. Um, I don't know if we'll make it, but we could try to make it to Momo's. I realized I got to where the Viking hat was, but I didn't touch it, so I don't have the Viking hat.
Oh, that'd be a good one then. It takes us about an hour and a half to get to Momo, so I don't know that we'd quite get there.
Maybe
But
not.
what we could do is launch part way.
We could. I think that would be a good idea.
So what if we launch from here because we're on the same angle, so that's nice.
Okay.
And then um, I'm almost thinking like pick a number of jumps so that we land in the same place.
I'm more thinking like we should at least make it past the bridge.
Sure, yeah. Okay, cool.
Um, yeah, maybe even land close to where the crown is.
You wanna how about you lead the way and I'll follow
Follow.
you there. Yeah,
Okay,
let's do
here we
that.
go. And away. Oh gosh.
Apple of the
Now
future. You're really high, by the
I
way.
am. I'm so
Oh,
used to the old jumping metric.
where gravity was stronger.
Yeah,
Yeah.
stronger than the snail. Now the snail has beaten gravity.
Uh huh.
I love it.
I'm still with you. I'm just a little below you.
I can't see anything, and that's a problem.
Yeah, you probably want to drop.
Okay.
At least a bit. So.
Oh, there you are. Hello.
Oh, you're dropping fast.
Yep. Okay. So there's the boulder, there's the ring. There's the... Let's take a pit stop at the floating island.
Okay, perfect.
And then we can kind of better identify where we want to land.
Yeah, that was a really nice angle for hitting the sky platform.
It really was. It was almost like we planned it. This was not planned.
Okay, I'm moving a little slower than you, so I'll be probably just 1 minute behind you.
Alright. I'll watch the snail approach.
I'm a coming.
Hello. You've arrived.
So in the next update, little sneak peek for you.
Alright.
It's really tiny, but I can't. I think I made it a 1 in 100 chance that when you say hello, it might be a 1 in 1,000. It's one of those two.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a 1 in X chance that when you say hello, it's a very low pitch. I can't even do the sound, even though it's my voice. It's like
I love it.
hello, but like lower than that. And yeah,
That's incredible.
I'm excited for people to find that.
Yeah, me too. Oh, that was wonderful. I also love the tea party.
Yeah, did you get the achievement?
I did. I really like the cupcakes and the mugs. They're very cute. I also really like the treasure chest achievement.
Oh yeah, I was
fun.
gonna ask if you found that one too. I'm glad you did.
I like that sign, the enjoy climbing on them.
That's another. I think I put that in on the same time as the Steam keys, and it's just another thing where like I've got these like present assets. I'm just gonna put them somewhere, and like sometimes those features that I just add on a whim, they don't really go anywhere, but a lot of times people like them.
Yeah.
And I think this type of game lends itself for that kind of thing where it's basically just an exploration game.
Yeah.
Not just, but you know what I mean.
Yeah. It's an achievement hunting game.
Yeah.
Find all the achievements which end up leading you to exploring the world.
Exactly.
Yeah. I think we should land a little bit after the fork.
Yeah, that sounds about perfect.
Okay. I'll see you there.
Okay. And you want to travel along the road?
Yeah. We'll travel along the road.
So just so you know, you don't have like any momentum going forward. You might want to cut back.
I don't know if I can. I'd have to go backwards.
Yeah. I think you'll be able to outwalk whatever momentum you do have.
Okay, I think I've managed to walk it back. Not quite, no!
Jump, jump, jump. Now just maintain your level. Oh. I don't know about you, but it's hailing on my game and it's making it harder to see you.
Okay, I'm here. I made it.
There you are. Sweet.
Oh, so you gotta tilt. Yeah,
what I recommend is actually fully... and I messed it up. But fully get on the side there. Okay. Or at least as much as you can.
Alright, let's see.
I'll make it there. I'll just be a little bit slow. So if you overtake me, that's actually good. So I can Find you.
All right, that's a little bit tilted. All right, we will go with this. Oh yeah, there we go. Perfect. That's a very
Oh
cute
yeah,
cherry
you got
tree.
good speed. Oh yeah,
When
I
the
like
April Fools, the April Fools was such a fun thing because you could really
it.
see how just a small tilt would just take you so far. It was
Yeah,
great.
I'm glad you got to play on April Fools.
Yeah. I'm a little disappointed I didn't record because I was a part of the group that was at the top of the stairway and was bouncing down.
Oh, I wish I could have been there. I was actually, because I was out of town, I was AFK like the whole day, and so I
Mhm.
barely got to do any speeding around. But it seemed like people were having a good time, and
It
the
was.
jumping down the stairway especially sounded fun.
It was a good time. uh,
Do you think I should do it again in the future?
yeah. Definitely make it
Okay,
a
cool.
once in a blue moon thing. Don't make it
Yeah,
constant.
I agree. Agreed. It was a bit controversial. I think the main argument against it was, well, now I feel like I wasted my time getting the achievements in normal
Mm.
way. And to that I say,
Then you weren't
well
playing
then,
Snail Sim.
yeah, then don't play on April Fools. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm not really sorry. Like, this isn't a competitive game, so like, you're not
Yeah.
competing against others. I don't know.
Yeah.
Thankfully, that was I think a pretty minority opinion.
I would think so. I think a majority of people who like the game and return to the game like understand the value of just taking your time.
Yeah, and it brought out some people like my sisters who are not like necessarily big into gaming or like
Mm-hmm.
achievement hunting, but um, more than one of my sisters hopped on and did the whole snare way on April
Oh,
Fools, and
nice.
I thought that was cool because like I don't know if they would have done it otherwise.
Yeah, I thought I could do the snare away, and then I realized how long it was. I was like, I can't do that for a stream. Like, that's not a 4-hour bit of content. That's a journey.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
All right, so let's get back to topic, and
Okay.
I will ask you what frustrates you the most about life.
Um, I think it kind of goes hand in hand with the things that scare me the most or give me the most anxiety. I
Mm-hmm.
think I probably spend too much time being frustrated with how little I feel I can do to change
Mm-hmm.
some of the big problems in the world. Like,
Mm-hmm.
again, like climate change and um, extreme poverty in other countries where people don't have water or food,
Mm-hmm.
or they just need freaking mosquito nets to
Yeah.
make the difference between life and death, and which costs so little to make,
Yeah.
but that's still like they don't have access to those things like that. Like I spend a lot of time thinking about those types of things, and it frustrates me. And I try to do little things like chip into charities. I go to I go to protests sometimes,
Mm.
um, but I just wish I could do more.
Yeah. Yeah. Sometimes I wish if only I could just exist and fix the world's problems. That'd be nice.
Yep. Right? Yeah.
Yeah. Just, don't have to balance anything, just like still be me, and yet things doing my best is enough to solve the issue.
Exactly.
That'd be so nice. Uh,
Exactly.
yeah, I feel that.
I have this dream of making enough money and like whether it's whether it's starting like a business or whatnot, like getting
Mhm.
financially stable enough that I can start focusing more on those things, like whether it's just directly giving to charities or getting more involved with like
Mhm.
international efforts,
Yeah.
because I do have some connections to some poorer countries that I could probably utilize.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's kind of one of my biggest life goals, is to get to that point.
That'd be nice. I hope you do.
Thank you.
Yeah. The next question is what excites you the most?
Um, well, let's see. Yesterday I had a lengthy, stimulating conversation, and I left it feeling really good and excited.
Nice.
Um, so let's say stimulating conversations.
Mhm.
Um, I think in general, just like positive social interactions will just automatically like put a smile on my face and kind of leave me in a better mood for the rest of the day.
Yeah.
Even little things um, like small interactions at a grocery store or whatever.
Mhm.
Um, Experiencing new things, which especially like things that are different from what I grew up with, right?
Mhm.
Um, I've never been to mainland Europe or like the UK, and
Mhm.
that's kind of been a conscious decision because I'm less interested in things. I have European background. I'm
Mhm.
a white guy in America, so two plus two.
Mhm.
Um, I'm less interested in seeing those cultures because they're already more similar to what I know,
Mhm.
which is why I picked Asia to go to.
Mhm.
I I really enjoy experiencing things that are different from what I'm used to.
Yeah.
It gets my mind reeling, and like it's like there's these whole different worlds out there. Like the way people live life in Tokyo is so drastically different than the way
Mhm.
people live life here in Salt Lake City. Like
Yeah.
very different,
Totally.
but like they both work in
Yeah.
different ways, you know.
They function to
Um,
some degree.
yeah, exactly. Like to me, just the fact that people can live so drastically differently but still live, is that by itself is just, every time I experience it is mind blowing for me, and I love it.
Yeah.
Um,
That's awesome.
that's about all.
Okay. The next question is why did you agree to the game we're playing? Well, first of all, I messed up and I did not set you up very well for this interview. And I normally would have asked you for what game you would want to play, and
Oh,
I did kind of assume that you would want to play this one.
okay. Well, I don't think I have a very interesting question or answer for you then, because the answer is I made the game.
You made it. Okay.
um, yeah.
Yeah. Um how about then let's change the question to what is something you really enjoy about this game as like the game itself. I know the community is a big part of it,
Yeah.
but like I feel like that is kind of like tangential to the product itself.
Yeah, like yes and no, right? Because like
Mhm.
if you look at the reviews on Steam, so many of them are like, I read one I think yesterday that said, yeah, the game is good, but the Discord community is half of the game
Mhm.
essentially.
Mhm.
And I never like plan, or I didn't plan it that way initially. I spun up a Discord to put a link to it in the game,
Mhm.
and it was like, yeah, this will be cool if I can build up a community. It's building up communities has been something I've dabbled a little bit with in the past, and I've always enjoyed it.
Mhm.
Um, but I never expected it to get as big as it is now. We're almost at 1,000 members,
Wow.
and like in my opinion, the best moments in Snail Simulator, which is a really funny sentence to utter, by the way. Um, the best moments in Snail Simulator are the events
Mhm. Mhm.
where we had a good one for New Year's where we broke the record and had 62 snails.
Mhm.
And then for the 1.3 release a couple weeks ago, broke the record. Well, smashed it and
Yep.
hit 315 snails online at one point.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Incredible.
So like, strictly speaking, you're correct that the community is tangential to the product, but I think it's kind of evolved to the situation where it's actually a very important part of the product is the
Mhm.
community itself. And to kind of answer your original question a little bit better, I've been really pleasantly surprised with how social this game can be for like
Mm.
how simply social it is in the game. Like all we can do
Mhm.
is say hello, but
Mhm.
like that's enough to like put a smile on people's faces, and like it's kind of quirky and fun, and
Yeah.
I really love that part.
It's very cute. Yeah, I do like that too. All right. Well, I think that's a good substitute. Can you think of a better question to ask?
No,
Okay.
that is a great question.
Wonderful. The next one then is, what is something you are proud of?
Ooh. Pride's a funny emotion.
Mhm.
I generally am like almost anti um, the emotion
Yeah.
pride, because like it's when people say I'm proud to be American, I'm like, what does that even
Mm.
mean? Like I was born here. That doesn't mean I need to be proud. What like what like it's kind of a weird, again, it's a weird emotion.
Yeah.
At least the way it's generally used. Um, so I guess that being, even though I don't always love the word pride in the emotion sense, I think it does have some positive connotations. I'm proud of Snail Simulator. Um it's not like something particularly difficult, but it's almost like a culmination of a couple decades of experience in
Mhm.
mostly programming, but also just dabbling in computers in general and dabbling in community building.
Mhm.
Um,
Yeah.
so it's been fun to see that come to
There's
a head and actually
yeah.
work,
Yeah.
like actually get some traction. Like, yeah, I'm proud of that.
Yeah.
Um,
I
what
feel
else am
like
I proud of? Oh, go ahead.
there's a lot of life experience that has gone into this product, and yeah,
Yeah,
that's
it's
all.
kind of a on the outside, it's kind of a weird statement, but I would actually agree. A lot of life experience going into Snail Simulator. But yeah, I didn't put that much time into it initially, but because I have so many years of experience in development, not game dev necessarily,
Mhm.
um, it definitely made it an easier project to get off the ground.
Yeah, definitely. All right, you were gonna mention something else you were proud of?
Oh, I was just thinking out loud. What else am I proud of? Um, Nothing's coming to mind at the moment.
That's okay. I think it's a decent answer. Do you want the next one?
Yeah.
What is your most prized possession and why?
My wife. Not that I possess her, but
Yeah.
like I'm glad to have her in my life, you know. And
Yeah.
if if she's the one quote unquote thing in my life that if I were to lose would impact me the most. Um,
That relationship is important.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Um, but I'm trying to think if there's another interesting answer there. Oh man, I think about pretty often if I were to lose my phone or have it stolen. Oh my gosh, that would just
Mm.
like like because I got all my two-factor authentication on
Oh
there
yeah,
and everything, and like it
that's a
stresses me
problem.
out the idea of losing my phone, and I should probably take action on that and like back up my codes and everything, but so my phone's definitely up there.
Okay.
And what was the original question again?
What is your most prized possession and why?
Yeah. Um, the other thing I'd say, okay, so I've given an emotional answer or a romantic one, my wife. I've given a very practical answer, my
Your
phone.
phone.
um, but I don't know if it's deep, but we'll pretend it's deep. A deeper answer would be, I think just my life experiences. I'm really grateful for them. It's just like getting older sucks in some ways, but not that I'm old per se. Yeah, some days I feel that I am. Um, but like on the other hand, I actually think it's a net positive because the more experiences you have in life, the the better decisions you can make based off of previous experiences, and it's just like life kind of gets easier in my opinion. When I was a teenager and I would encounter problems, it was extremely stressful. And I think a lot of that was just because I didn't have life experience yet, and it felt like the end of the world because I mean, in my experience, maybe it would be. I didn't know better,
Yeah.
but like as you get older and you experience things, good and bad, you realize, oh, this has happened before. Yes, it sucks, but I'm gonna be okay.
Yeah.
Um, and that is kind of a little thing, but it's also huge.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree. It is. Life experience is very important.
Yeah.
For myself as a I'm not a social worker, but I do things tangential to social work.
Oh, cool. Like
Um
that.
I a lot of time when I go into interviews, I'm relying way less on my academic knowledge and more on I know what it's like to be someone who suffers. I understand how to suffer,
Mm-hmm.
and I know that, having someone who listens and understands is very important when you're suffering. And I keep
Exactly.
getting hired, so it keeps working.
Good. I
So
mean,
yeah,
you've got those experiences. It sounds like
yeah,
it's it's the right choice that you're getting hired.
I
So,
hope so. Yeah, I'm happy so far, so that's good. All right, next question is how do you take care of yourself?
I don't. No, I'm just kidding. That's depending on the day. That's true.
Yeah.
It's something I think about a lot, actually. Um, I mean, after everything we've talked about today, probably not surprising that like mental health is on my mind pretty regularly.
Yeah.
Um, how to take the best care of myself and then others around me.
Mhm.
Um, so today I went on like just a brisk walk,
Mhm.
and that left me in a much better mood. And so now I've been thinking that's something I should do more often.
Mm. Yeah.
I exercise doesn't necessarily come naturally to me. There's I didn't grow up playing like team sports or anything.
Mhm.
Um, like I mentioned earlier, I used to go running, but um, more recently I haven't. But I guess what I'm getting at is I think physical and mental health are very closely entwined,
Yeah.
and so for me, like taking care of myself often looks like getting at least some exercise in every day or two.
Mm. Mhm.
Um, also, making at least a little bit of time each day where I can unwind, or um, I am fairly introverted, so
Mhm.
like take that time to process my thoughts and whatnot.
Mm.
Um, one thing I do is every night when I'm falling asleep, I read a book, and that's that's like a couple things. Like one, it's kind of like taking care of myself. It's something I enjoy, and
Mm-hmm.
I do it pretty religiously every night. And but the second thing is, I found that even if I am really into the book, for whatever reason, reading is a great way for me to fall asleep. And
Yeah.
so maybe it's because there's no light, there's no screen there.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's just fantastic way to help me get to sleep. Um,
Wonderful. What book have you been reading recently?
I actually picked up the Brothers Grimm fairy
Mm.
tales, and I've been reading through all of those. Um,
Interesting.
they are interesting. Some of them are just like I
My
finish them.
goodness.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Some of them I finish them and I'm like, that was it. Like, okay. And then other
Weird.
ones are like, what the heck?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been fun
We
actually.
told children these stories? My
Uh,
goodness.
yeah, exactly.
Uh,
In one of them, it's similar to Red Riding Hood in some ways, but it's the main characters are pigs, I believe.
mm-hmm.
And at one point, so the wolf like eats all these baby pigs, and then the mom comes home, and her solution is to like cut open the wolf's stomach while he's asleep. And
Mm-hmm.
I just think that's so funny, like the idea that the wolf just sits there and sleeps while surgery is
Yeah.
being performed on him, and then like they don't stop there. They get the pigs out, and then they fill his stomach full of stones. It's like, so it's the most roundabout way to solve the problem, but
Yeah.
I guess that's why it's a fairy tale, right? It's kind of fun.
Yeah. I have noticed in a lot of fairy tales, it's just like there's so many leaps in logic that I guess
Mm-hmm.
kind of makes sense, but also like this is like a 5-year-old would think that this would work.
Yeah, exactly. One of the biggest one. Almost every story has at least one plot point that goes like this. And then the
Hmm.
king met the girl, and he wooed her, and they got married. And it's usually just like that. It's like two
Hmm.
sentences.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's like a whole story by itself, and they make it sound so simple. Like
Yep.
I've not yet once read a story where the king tried to woo the person and they said no. It's just like always they met, and next sentence they got married.
It just
So,
doesn't happen. Yeah.
maybe it was a little different back then, but I don't think it was
It
that different.
it was that different back then.
I guess when you're a
Women were
king, yes,
property.
yeah, yeah. Well, no, that's very fair. Um, and also like I guess if the king came up to me and was like, "Hey, SnailSimDev, you want to get hitched?" I'd be like, "Hell yeah!" Like this is
Give me
my
all
only
that
ticket
money
out of
and power.
peasant poverty. Like
Yeah.
I'm not into dudes, but I don't even care. Like let's get hitched. I guess in that light, it's not that surprising, huh?
Yeah, no. There's a lot of context that is missed out on because like the books aren't they weren't written with the idea of, oh, we're gonna have to teach people like hundreds of years in the future what our culture was like.
No, yeah, yeah. And you make a really good point about the women being treated very much so like property. I think
Yeah.
that's worth calling out.
No. It was different, but that makes the stories more strange. I'm glad you're enjoying them though.
Thank you. Yeah, it's fun.
Do you want the next question?
I actually have a question for you.
All right, I will listen.
Um, if that's okay.
Yeah, go for it.
Have you interviewed other game developers? I'm guessing yes.
Game developers, no. Most of the people I interview are, shamefully, a lot of the people that I end up interacting with through my own streams. I have a lot of streamer friends, and so I've interviewed a lot of them, and I'm starting to get through the list of people that I know, and I'm
Okay.
starting to get into people that I don't know who are very much strangers and hoping that they say yes and hope I don't sound too creepy.
No,
But
not at all. You can always ask, right? Like, there's no harm.
yeah, and if they ignore me, and I won't take it personally.
So, you said I'm the first. Is that right?
First developer, yeah.
Oh, cool. Well, I'm honored.
You're welcome. It's a good first, I think. I think it was a good choice.
Well, thanks. Appreciate that.
No problem.
Oh, that's actually the only question I had, so you can continue.
Okay. Yeah, no problem. Let's see. The next question is, what is a question you wish for me to ask you? So really the purpose of this question is to give you a platform of like, is there a subject you wish you could talk about? You just kind of need an excuse to talk about it.
I can be a little bit of a rambler, and so I think I've kind of found my way into those subjects already, like taking your questions and then moving them to climate change and stuff like that. But let's see. Ooh, I feel like there's something good there, but I can't think of it right now. I guess, do you have any questions about like why or how decisions were made in the game?
I have a very egotistical question.
Yeah.
So when I first originally played, there were some blue poppies that suddenly appeared.
Mm-hmm.
And in the 1.3 update, I haven't noticed any. Where did they go?
Oh my gosh. I think you're the first person to call that out. I think they're gone. I think I didn't move them over from 1.2. But yeah, I can actually kind of dive into that a little bit. It's kind of interesting.
Okay.
For a little bit there, well, more like about 3 months, I was kind of doing this balancing act between 1.2 and like ongoing changes I wanted to make to it, and 1.3, which is this big release. And so I actually, this isn't super common in like software engineering, but I actually copied the two projects into separate folders so I could easily work on them side by side. And it just so happened to work well, or well-ish, for this project. So the blue poppies were added in 1.2. I actually added them while someone was streaming my game, and they had like brought up the idea, and so I added them around the area where the streamer was, and then I was like, "Hey, update your game," and so they could see the poppies. Like, I love doing that kind of thing, like adding things to the game while it's being played. Yeah. Anyway, but so the short answer is I must have forgotten to move them over, and I'm gonna write that down right now to add them back in. So thanks for calling that out.
All right, no problem. We got to get some biodiversity in here, you know. We can't have it all be red poppies.
Exactly. I'm glad you noticed them, and I'm glad you noticed they were gone.
Yeah, no problem.
So how was that egotistical? That was just in the sense that you want them, and
yes.
Okay.
Because I want to. I like seeing, because when I just recently edited my first encounter with this game for YouTube.
Oh, sweet.
I added that part where you were asking like, okay, I'm gonna update the game. Any last minute changes? I'm like, blue flowers. And I'm like, okay.
Was it you that I did that for then during the?
It was me.
I was thinking it was there's another streamer. Her name is Tease. I think it is. But it was you, wasn't it?
Yep.
I'm sorry, I misremembered that. Yeah.
It's okay.
Okay. Yeah. Wow, that's
you
really
need a lot of
egotistical of you.
It is. I was like, oh no, where's my impact? Where's my tiny impact on someone else's game?
No, like everyone who noticed them loved them. So.
Oh.
I'm writing that. Add blue poppies. Okay, it's on my to-do list.
Yay. All right, I'm excited.
Me too. they were a good contribution.
Good. Awesome. I'm glad.
Oh,
Hmm?
actually, I have another question for you.
Okay.
It's egotistical because it's about my game.
Okay. Go for it.
If you could change anything, like add, remove, or change anything about Snail Simulator, what would it be?
Hmm. Hmm. I have to think on that one. That one's tough because,
Yeah, we can come back to it too if you want.
well, we're getting pretty close to the end of the question, so
Okay.
I will take this time to stall to reach our destination.
Okay.
Let's see. I'll talk about some of the things I noticed. I really like the 1.3 map. It is improved from before, so you did a good job there. Um,
Thanks.
I I this this jumped into my head. I kind of wish there was a checklist to see where, like, not where the hats were, but if you got all the hats or not.
Ooh, okay.
So, like, somewhere on the world, because I know that you can go to the Discord and look, but there's only for certain hats, not for all the hats. And
I could
to
probably make
kind
that
of,
pretty easily. I'm imagining like in the menu you pop up and the hats you have, it like shows icons for them.
mm-hmm.
For the ones you don't, it's just like a question mark. That way it doesn't reveal
Yeah,
anything about them.
yeah,
Is
exactly.
that
And
would
so
that
you
kind of
know,
fulfill what you're looking for?
yeah, exactly. So you know if you're missing something or not. Because I think it's really easy to just play the game, get some of the hats and think you got it all. And no, there's a lot more that you're missing, and it kind of drives the more exploration of the world.
Agreed. Yeah. Um, on that note, that's
Mm-hmm.
exactly why I put the top hat so close to the beginning of the game, is
Mm-hmm.
because I want people to immediately notice, oh, what's that sparkly thing? I should touch it. Oh, I touched it. It made a
Now I have a
sound.
hat.
And there's a sign that says push T. Now I can wear a hat. Yeah.
Yeah,
So I
I
agree
did
with you
notice
there.
that. I think it's a good uh, game design trick. Good trick.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah.
Sorry, I think you had one more thought.
Mm,
Or I'm making that up.
well, I can think of another thought if you want.
Oh, okay.
My
If
other
not,
thought
that's fine.
is, I know this is very hard to control, but the floating grass is a little funky.
Oh,
the,
yes.
the grass floats.
Yeah. I could talk a little bit about that. It's that irks me as well. For the first off, is what I want to say.
Okay.
What happens there is the models for the grass are strictly horizontal.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so when I place them on a hill, there's a decent chance that part of the grass will like extend out
Mm-hmm.
and be floating.
Mm-hmm.
So I could be wrong, but I'm pretty confident that every time you see floating grass, it's on a hill,
Yeah.
and it's just like, it's actually I don't know how to fix it other than um,
Individually
removing that grass.
editing.
Yeah, I guess I
Individually
could like,
editing all the grass.
yeah, and like you kind of with the way that terrain and terrain objects in Unity works,
Mm-hmm.
the grass is like mass placed. Um,
Oh, so you
so
can't
like
even pinpoint them.
yeah, like in it's not what we call in Unity. It's not a game object.
Mm.
It's just part of the terrain is the way that Unity considers it.
Okay.
And because of that, there's some limitations. And but now that we're talking about it, I think I could actually lower the model of the grass so that
Hmm.
it's more in the ground by default, and then that would help with that problem.
It would help with some of them. There are some that are on steep hills that would not solve, but I mean, be
Exactly.
less of a gap.
You write that down as a something to look into.
Okay, cool. All right, we have two more questions. Do you like the next one?
Yes. Can we actually take a really quick break?
Sure.
Okay. I just need like 2 minutes.
Okay.
Okay, I'm back.
Welcome back.
Thank you.
We're making our way. Almost there.
We're getting close.
We're getting closer.
Yeah. Close
Alright.
is very relative.
It is. Would you like the next question?
I would.
The next question is, when are you the happiest?
A couple things come to mind. One is just spending like genuinely good time with friends and family.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of vague, but like I think that can come in a lot of shapes.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe like getting together with a family for a holiday, or like I mentioned earlier, having a in-depth conversation with a friend.
Mm-hmm.
Um, the other time I think I feel the happiest is just when I feel like I'm creating something that I like.
Mm-hmm.
Um, that's a big motivator for me. I've created so many little games and projects over the years.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Again, like this is only my second project ever made in Unity. The other ones
Mm-hmm.
were pretty much graphicless. They were just like text-based games and stuff. But
Mm-hmm.
I find a lot of fulfillment from building and creating.
Nice. Wonderful. I love that. So the last question is, who is someone you would like to see interviewed next?
It's gonna be all um, funny and like name some celebrity, but then no one funny came to mind. Ryan Reynolds. There we go.
Ryan Reynolds. Okay, I will add him to my list.
um, well, now that I know that I'm the first game developer, I think it'd be cool if you interviewed other game developers.
Okay.
I especially really like indie games. Like almost all the games I play anymore are fairly indie,
Mm-hmm.
and I think it would just be cool to hear from more indie game devs.
Yeah. Is there anyone in particular that jumps to your brain?
Um, no, but I could
Okay.
think on that. Um, by the way, do you want to jump a little bit to get closer?
Kind of on flat ground. It'd be hard to do that from here. Oh, we're angled a tiny bit.
We're a
Sure.
little bit angled, so
We could do a little bit of a hop.
you're gonna have to jump a lot right from the start to get that momentum off the slight angle.
Okay.
Uh,
Oh, I jumped kind of far.
you jumped high. I lost you.
Oh, I can still see where I'm going.
Oh, good.
I'm
Oh, I see you.
slowly descending. I see you too. You're way down there.
Yeah. Oh.
Oh, this is a journey in of itself.
Uh-huh. I think we got a pretty good trajectory. Do you want to keep going, or
Yeah, I can keep going.
this is kind of our last chance to jump, because then we're on a hill that wouldn't work in our favor.
Yep, it is. Alright. Is there anything else that you'd like to talk about? As we're getting closer to the end of our time here together.
How long have you been doing interviews?
Oof. I think I'm approaching a year soon?
That's
I think
cool.
I have at least 13 interviews done.
Dang,
Yeah.
not bad for a year.
yeah, I've been trying to do about once a month, and there has been several months where I'm like, gosh, it's almost the end of the month, and I have the footage. I just need to edit it. Like, okay, I gotta spend this weekend editing this, because if I if I don't if I
Uh,
don't stick to that, then this project will die.
yeah.
And I'm tired of having my projects die.
Yep. I hear you. That's a lot of what led to me with starting this project.
Yeah.
You
Well,
still want to
I'm
try and make it to
glad.
the Viking ship, or
Yeah.
okay?
Mostly just let's get to that main little patch,
Okay, cool.
and then in my own time I can go touch the Viking hat.
Sweet. Little snailing guys.
Yep. Just two snails flying along.
What else more could you want from life?
No. Oh, here's a question for you. Um, Take me to Snurch. When are we getting a Snurch?
It'll definitely happen.
Okay.
It's probably the number one idea that I'm like, that thing that has to happen,
It
right?
does.
um,
You could even put a Pope hat in there for the
yeah.
Snope.
I'm kind of intentionally holding off a little bit because I I want to make it really good when I put it out,
Mm-hmm.
or like not really good per se. I want it to be decent.
Yeah.
Um,
Not half-hearted.
yeah.
Wholehearted.
Like I want there to be more to see and or do
Yeah.
than just church funny.
Yeah.
So, but it will happen
Wonderful.
probably this year.
Ooh, I'm excited. I recently introduced my friends to the cover Take Me to Snurch, and they loved it.
It's really good. I actually didn't know about it until this game.
Yeah.
And then that's one thing I didn't realize I was tapping into um like this big group of people who really like snails. That
Yeah.
never really crossed my mind when I made the game, to be honest. And then so all the snail memes started coming out, and it's been a lot of fun.
Yeah. It's like one of those things of you don't notice it until you start looking. It's like, oh, this thing's everywhere.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I'm here near Momo's. Where are
I'm a
you?
little to your right and ahead of you.
Oh, there you are. Hello.
Hello.
Hello. All right. Well, I think this is a great place to stop. We'll meet up and we'll wrap this up.
Perfect.
Cool. Well, thank you for this journey. It's been a fun one. Thank you
Yeah.
for sharing aspects of yourself with me today. I do appreciate it.
Thanks for interviewing.
Yeah, no problem.
I wish I had a goodbye button and not just hello.
Two hellos equal one goodbye, you know.
Okay.
I love it. All right. Well, I'm gonna do my outro thing now. So,
Okay.
uh, hang on in there. I have to remember
Okay.
how to do it. I think I do it in the way of, yeah, thank you for being here. Thank you for doing this with me. I had a lot of fun. I hope you had a lot of fun. And, I will address the invisible audience here and say, thank you for being here. Thank you for listening. I hope you enjoyed this interview. And if you did, you're probably gonna like Snail Simulator Dev. So where can people find you?
The Discord is probably the best way.
Mm-hmm.
There's a link to it directly on the Steam page, and to get there, you can just go to snailsimulator.com.
Okay. I can put links for those below in the description, so you can find them there. And is there anything else you'd like to say before we wrap this up?
Just thanks for your time. Appreciate it.
All right, cool. Thank you for your time. All right. Well, thank you very much. Have a good night. And yeah, take care, everyone. See ya. Bye.